Today I will try to address some of the criticisms of law of attraction. Number one criticism, law of attraction leads to toxic positivity. Law of attraction teaches us to operate from positive beliefs, thoughts, and patterns so that we can have manifestations of positive experiences in our life. It does not tell us to deny the existence of negative. So, for example, if I'm trying to manifest abundance in my life and I'm walking down the street and I see a homeless person, I immediately turn my head in the other direction and say, I don't want to see that because I don't want to manifest scarcity. But this is me misinterpreting the law. I am not using the law correctly because I am saying that I don't want to even acknowledge that the negative situation exists. I only want to see the positive and I will only emphasize that positive exists. But the law is not teaching us that. The law tells us both sides of the spectrum exist, positive as well as negative. We can pick what serves us, we can pick what resonates with us. So it is me misusing the law of attraction. The other aspect of suppressing our emotions. So let's say I see the bills piling up and suddenly I start worrying, why is my manifestation not working? Why don't I see abundance coming in? But then I can consciously enter a dialogue with myself. I can address those emotions and say that I'm focused in the right direction. I'm putting my effort in the right projects, and slowly over time, I will see that abundance manifesting. So I can stay strong and keep moving in the right direction. Now, contrast this with conventional way of thinking. Say you're walking down the street and you see a luxury car, and immediately you have this thought, I would like to have a similar car for myself. And suddenly this inner voice says, do you think you can ever afford a car like that? And you immediately shut down your response and go on your way. In this case, we are actively suppressing our emotions because we are not addressing them. With law of attraction, we are actively addressing these emotions and orienting them in the positive direction so that we see positive manifestations for us. We do not want to become these zombies who have this plastered smile on their faces, irrespective of what is going on inside their heads. That's not what the law is teaching. Criticism number two, law of attraction leads to unrealistic expectations. Now, what is realistic and what is unrealistic is subjective. Someone may feel $10,000 is unrealistic, while someone else may feel even $1 million is realistic. So it all depends on our own opinions, and it's mostly tied to our sense of worthiness. For someone, a relationship that checks all the boxes may be realistic, while for someone else, a relationship that involves a lot of compromising and allows no freedom is what their view of a realistic relationship is. So it all depends on what we view as realistic. But if someone is fixated on an outcome and they want their result to look a certain way, then that is unrealistic expectation. So if I want my abundance only to come as a $10,000 check, then that is an unrealistic expectation of me. But again, it has nothing to do with the law. It is how I am using that aspect of the law in an incorrect way. Number three criticism of law of attraction is it leads to a distorted view of reality. Again, we view reality through our own lenses. When we are having a great day, the colors seem brighter, the air seems better, but if we are having a really bad day, then it seems all gloomy around us. We are not able to draw in enough air to breathe. So it all depends on how we are projecting our internal feelings on the environment. So everyone has their own perception of reality. But if we are looking around us and trying to find only positive in the situation, then how can that be bad? That's actually a good thing. Even if things are negative around us and we are only looking for positive, that can help us, uplift us, as well as uplift the other people around us. It does not mean becoming blind to the situation where we are not addressing the situation, but at the same time, we can still use the situation to look for positive signs wherever they exist. Criticism number four is law of attraction tells us to control every thought, and that's not possible. Well, law of attraction does teach us to become aware of what it is we are thinking, to focus on these thought patterns and see whether they serve us. Most of the time, we are engaging in mostly negative thoughts and some positive thoughts, and that leads to mixed results at best. And we want to address that. We want to become aware of the tonality of the vibration that we are operating from. So, overall, if we are operating from a negative vibration, that will lead to negative results. But if we become aware of how our thought patterns are, then we can orient them to behave in a more positive way so that we can see positive results around us. So, taking responsibility of our lives, taking responsibility of our thoughts is a step in the right direction. If we want to create desired results for ourselves, then we need to take ownership of how we are thinking and operating. If we use the conventional way of thinking, we can only get mixed results at best. Criticism number five is law of attraction encourages wishful thinking and discourages action. Well, consider this scenario. You have done the inner work on yourself. You are ready for that amazing relationship. You know you can draw that perfect partner into your life, and someone who fits the profile asks you out on a date. Will you say no? Of course not, because taking that action is a natural extension of what you've been working on. Similarly, if I want to manifest abundance and I come across this amazing business idea, will I hesitate to operate on it? Of course not, because again, the action is in alignment with my thoughts, beliefs, so I will go ahead with it. So there is no need to isolate thoughts and beliefs and action. I feel action is an integral part of the process. It is a natural extension of the process. Why would someone only think and believe and stop from taking action? Only someone who does not believe that the law works will stop themselves from taking action, because otherwise, once you do the inner work on yourself, then you would be ready to take that next step, because that's where grounding of the energy happens. That's where you can see your manifestations coming to life, and that would be such an exciting part of the process. So we cannot isolate action and thought. Both are integral to the process. Law of attraction does not tell us to only think the thoughts, do affirmations, do visualizations, but not take the next step on it. It's part of the process. Taking aligned action, taking inspired action is part of the entire process. So if someone believes otherwise, then they do not understand the law. The last one, criticism number six, is blaming the victim for creating unwanted circumstances. Now, this is a misinterpretation of the law. Law of attraction is not blaming the victim. When we are using law of attraction to create desirable circumstances, we are orienting our thoughts and behaviors and taking inspired action to manifest that desired outcome for us. But what we are doing is we are trying to influence the outcome so that we can achieve these positive experiences, but we are co creating at best. We are not sitting here in silos doing our own thing. We are co creating with the rest of the creation, and everything comes together in a way that we can never understand. That is out of our control. All we can do is do our best in terms of thoughts and beliefs, and also in terms of taking action. Beyond that, how that result manifests, it takes a lot of factors, and we are not responsible for that. Let's say I want to manifest a pen. I can sit here thinking about a pen, but unless I order it online or go down the street and buy it in the store, I will never have that pen. So it's a co creation between me, between the person who created the pen, and the supplier that brought us together. So everything else in the universe is a co creation. We can only do our part. Beyond that, what happens is dependent on a lot of factors which are beyond our control. So we do our best, and whatever shows up, then How we react to that situation, how we respond to it, is again our responsibility. Whether we see a positive outcome or a negative outcome, how we um, use our vibration to respond to it is again within our domain of control. But ultimately, we are not creating these events. We are only trying to influence the results so that we see positive ones. But if that does not happen, we still take ownership of how we respond in an event, and that is within our control. So there is no blaming the victim here. It all happens for a reason. We try to do our best, and after that, we leave it up to the universe. So, this is my opinion on some of the criticisms of law of attraction. Ultimately, I believe law of attraction works. I have used it enough times so that I don't question the validity of this law. Does that mean I'm a millionaire who never has a bad day in her life? Far from it. I've had some mixed results with it, but I believe in law of attraction for two reasons. Number one, I don't want to operate from that conventional way of thinking where I feel there is lack and scarcity in the world and I have to compete with others for resources. Number two, it makes me feel that I am responsible for my life. I can take ownership and I can, with enough effort and time, I can see positive changes in my life. I'm not at the mercy of life, at mercy of someone else. I can make changes happen for myself. So, my recommendation is play with the law, use it to the extent it serves you. There's no need to make it a dogma or even argue about its efficacy. The same scenario may play out differently for two different people. We are all different. Bash the law or even blindly follow it. Use it to the extent it works for you, or choose something else. There are so many other techniques. There is meditation, journaling, shadow work, inner child work, EFT tapping, and numerous other techniques. All techniques are telling us the same thing, that we need to integrate all these parts of ourselves, some that we accept, some that we reject, others that we project. So, in the end, it's all about taking responsibility for our lives and moving in the right direction. Use law of attraction if it helps you to do that. Thanks for watching. Bye.